So in this video, I'll explain about why one-to-one relationships needs to be avoided and a possible workaround for it. Okay. Remember we spoke about this initially where intentionally I introduced the vehicle entity even though it was not there in the requirement just to show this particular issue. Now, coming back to the example, right now what I have added is an address entity intentionally for this demo. Again, this is something which we can store instead of making this a one-to-one. So what I am trying to do is to make the address and priest as a one-to-one. So let me just show you here. Oh yeah, it would be a problem here. I'll tell you why. Anyway, we'll get back to that. So what I'm trying to do here is to have priest and address as a one-to-one. So I can just put it here. 1, 1. Like I said at this point, if all we have in the address is something like an address line 1 or even more fields, ideally this would be part of the priest itself and you can go ahead and put it in priest. But here for the sake of demo, I would want to separate the priest and address entities. In fact, some databases actually do this, especially the e-commerce databases, where they separate the actual entity and the address entity to different entities rather than have all the fields of address in the priest itself. Now I'll also tell you why the context diagram did not come out as we expected. But before that, let me show you the configurations I have. So if I go to the priest, I have the priest entity and it has a reference to address. One priest can have one address, and similarly, now I have not done any other changes to the configuration. I've just added this address entity where it has line 1 and it also has a navigation property to priest. So an address has a priest reference, a priest has an address reference. One configuration I've added here is this is how you would typically implement one-to-one. Not only in entity framework, this is a database concept generally. You don't have a separate primary key for this address entity. You should have the priest ID itself as the key. Now, like I said, that is how typically the one-to-one is figured out. So if I had something like this, I will also have this as the address. Similarly, if I had something like this, I would have like this. So this is how you would typically implement a one-to-one in the database. So this entity does not have a primary key of its own. It just makes use of the primary key of the priest, and this acts as a primary key for this table, the address table, as well as a foreign key which will refer this column. So I'd want you to understand this. I said I do not have, the address entity does not have a primary key of its own, meaning you can't have a separate sequence number here. The primary key is the priest ID itself. So basically it has to match what is on the other hand. Now this is a limitation of how a one-to-one is actually implemented in database. You can't have a separate key, you can't have a separate sequence numbering, though there are other ways to go about it. So this is basically how a one-to-one relationship is formed, which is still okay. I mean, if you really want to create one-to-one, you should be able to do this, and that is what I am planning to do here. If you see, in the address, since I'm again violating the constraint, technically this should have just been ID. Okay, then this ID column would have been interpreted by entity framework as the primary key for this entity. But I have set priest ID. So now entity framework figures out, since this is priest and this is ID, so this is a foreign key for priest. That is also okay. But what it doesn't figure out is that it has no primary key of its own. And so it thinks this is an entity with no key. And if you try to run this application, it would complain saying that this address has no key of its own. You need to have one. So you can try that as well. You can just do only this much and try. You will get this error. But I have just gone ahead one step and I have solved that error, saying that explicitly I'm saying this entity address has a key called priest ID. So what would this mean is my priest ID here is acting as a primary key for this table, as well as it is referring to the priest ID of the priest entity, which I'm still okay. But still, we would have some errors. I'll tell you what those are. In fact, that is the reason it did not let me view the context also. So now let me just go ahead and click on the context, and I'll say entity framework 6, and I'll say view entity data model. At the bottom, if you see, after I do that, you will get an error message saying something went wrong. Just notice it. So an error occurred here while trying to build this. So if you see in the output window, I get the error here. Now this is too small, so I've just copied this, and this is what it is trying to say. It is unable to determine which is the principal end and which is the optional end. So what is this principal end and optional end? So this is basically the address, if you see, is an optional thing for priest. We may have a priest without an address detail captured yet, but vice versa is not true. We cannot have an address in the database where it is simply standing on its own without referring to any priest. So this is what is meant by principal and optional. So the entity framework says you need to tell me which is the principal and which is the optional out of these two. That is what it is telling. So we'll need additional configuration there. So this is the second problem in going with one-to-one. So if I come here, if I have to solve that problem, I can still do that. So what I'll do here, I'll go to the principal end. Now some authors say you could be doing this from the optional end as well. So but still I would do it from the principal end. So here I'll say has optional. So this is the way of explicitly specifying which is the optional end and which is the required end. Now you could argue that based on the arrangement of the keys itself, entity framework should have figured this out, really. But there's a long explanation for it, which I'll just cut it short here. But once you do this, now let's go ahead and just say, try to visualize the database. It will build the application once and it will immediately show. And if you see here, the priest is required, and a priest may have no address or at the most one address. Whereas if you see an address, it is compulsorily a priest. So this is typically what we would want in a one-to-one. And if we come back to our application, in the form 1, I've also gone ahead and I've just commented this for a while and just wanted to check if this is all fine. So I'm creating one priest and one address for him just to make sure everything goes well and to see it in the database. So what I'll do, I'll make sure that I don't have any existing database. Yeah, so I don't have anything called as TempleDB. Now let me go ahead and run this application. So as soon as this application runs, this thing will run and it will try to insert one priest, and once that is done, it will add one address also for him. And I would want to see if everything went well, and I'll say Control F. I'm sorry, I would have to say Control F5 for running it. So it says it is done. Let me close this. You come and refresh the database. I have the temple DB created. Remember, whenever I'm making any changes to the entity, I'm just deleting the database. You might get otherwise an exception saying that the model and the database are not in sync with each other, which I'll try to address in the upcoming videos. But for now, if you see the table and if I look at the priest, I have one priest with his ID 1, and if I go to the addresses, I also have the address for him. And in fact, you can confirm the same by looking into the column. So in the address entity, the priest ID is acting as a primary key for address as well as a foreign key, which is referring to the priest's primary key. So that is all it is done. So this is the way, in fact, one-to-one needs to be realized. But I would rather take another option, which is more flexible according to me. So if you followed the discussion, we also did this priest, right? Let me go back to the diagram. So we introduced this vehicle especially for this demo, where I have made one priest can have several vehicles, at least in the database, but the authority says one priest can have at most one vehicle. So how would I do that is, in the vehicle entity, all I have done is to make the priest ID as unique. Okay, so this way, if you try to insert or capture another vehicle for the same priest, database will throw an exception that the priest ID has to be unique. So this is another way of implementing the same concept, one-to-one, but in a more flexible and simple way. And the other advantage with this option is, tomorrow if the authority comes back to us and says we would want to let them have more than one vehicle, then you just remove this unique constraint and you will be fine. No changes to data, no changes to schema. And moreover, you see, this entity vehicle has its own ID. It will have its own sequence number. This is something which I really also want. Let's say going forward, we are printing some kind of tags or IDs for the vehicles, which they could probably link up to an automated gate. This is the flexibility it gives you. If you have your own ID generation for this vehicle, it's up to you how you would want to use it in the future. So that aspect I did not find in the one-to-one, and there are some other problems with one-to-one as well. So I just suggest you go ahead and search for it. But if you want to just go clean and you would want to have a one-to-one irrespective of what problems there are always workaround for problems. You could just stick to this convention as well. So I've just shown you both the ways in which a one-to-one mapping can be achieved, from actual one-to-one and creating a one-to-many but still restricting more than one instances of vehicle.